For decades, a heavy ache has lived quietly in my chest, a secret I've carried like a stone in my heart, locked away from the world. Until now, I'm a 49-year-old man, and when I was 31, I met Laura. She brought light into my life, and with her came a quiet, wide-eyed little girl named Emily, just 4 years old at the time. Emily was her daughter from a previous relationship. Her biological father had vanished when she was still a baby. No goodbye, no money, no trace, just a gaping silence where a father should have been. When I first met Emily, she barely spoke. Her eyes were careful, the kind that had already seen too much uncertainty. She clung to her mother, and when she looked at me, it was as if she was trying to decide whether I, too, might one day disappear. But time worked its magic. With patience and care, with gentle routines and quiet moments, the walls around her began to fall. I remember the exact moment it happened. The day she slipped her tiny hand into mine while we were walking through a local farm. Her small fingers curled around mine with such quiet trust that something inside me melted. In that single gesture, she unknowingly gave me a gift I never knew I needed. A year later, Laura and I were married. Legally, I never adopted Emily. Her father still held rights on paper, though he ignored every attempt to reach out. But in every meaningful way, I became her father. I was the one who walked her preschool and taught her to ride a bike without falling. I cheered at ballet recitals, sat through school plays with a smile, helped her wrestle with algebra when she wanted to give up, and packed her lunch with notes tucked inside. When she had her first heartbreak in high school, it was my coat she cried into, soaking with her tears while I held her and told her that love, true love, would find her someday. She called me Dad from the time she was 6. Never stepdad, just Dad. Laura struggled with her health for most of our marriage. As her ability to work diminished, I picked up extra shifts, worked overtime, and made ends meet the best I could. We were never wealthy, but I saved whatever I could. Emily had big dreams. First to becoming a veterinarian, then a social worker, and I wanted to be the wind beneath her wings. When she was accepted into a prestigious private university, the joy on her face made every sacrifice worth it. There was no financial aid, no grants, just the two of us and the dream she carried. So I took out a second mortgage on our home, paid for her tuition, her books, her dorm, her meals, everything. Not once did I let her feel like a burden. In fact, it filled me with pride to support her. On the day of her graduation, as she walked across the stage, tears streamed down my face. When she hugged me afterward, she whispered, "Dad, I wouldn't be here without you." That sentence carved itself into my soul. It was everything. And then came the heartbreak I never saw coming. About a year after graduation, Laura died. It was sudden and brutal and left both Emily and me shattered. We leaned on each other to get through the days. We cried. We remembered. We tried to breathe again through the weight of our grief. I truly believed nothing could break the bond Emily and I shared. Then she got engaged to Daniel, a quiet, respectful man I didn't know well but came to like. She asked if I could help with the wedding. I was still drowning in the debt from her education, but I didn't hesitate. Of course I would help. That's what dads do. I paid for the venue, the photographer, her stunning custom wedding dress. I even covered the flights for Daniel's family. Nearly $30,000 in all, but not once did I flinch. I wanted her day to be perfect. A fairy tale she could carry into the next chapter of her life. 1 week before the wedding, the three of us sat down for dinner to finalize the plans. It was a quiet, pleasant evening until she said it. After dinner, I'll do the father-daughter dance with my real dad. At first, I thought I'd misheard. I forced a laugh and said, "You mean me, right?" She shifted in her seat, eyes not meeting mine. "No, I mean my biological father, Mark. He's coming in from Arizona." The words didn't make sense at first. It felt like the ground tilted beneath me. "The man who abandoned you?" I asked softly, stunned. She explained how she found him online a few months ago, that they'd been talking, that he was sorry, that he said he regretted leaving, and she needed to close that chapter for herself. I sat in silence. Not angry yet, just hollow. I've been your dad for 18 years. I whispered. I know, she replied, and I'm so grateful. This isn't about you. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I just nodded and left. That night, I sat in my car for hours staring into nothingness, and then I made a decision. I quietly called every vendor, the venue, the caterer, the florist, the DJ, and canceled my payments. I didn't make a scene. I didn't yell. I simply stepped away. 2 days later, Emily called, furious. What are you doing, Dad? I mean, Mark. She corrected herself. The pause in her voice hit harder than a slap. You're sabotaging my wedding. I was paying as your father. I said, you've chosen someone else for that role. Let him take care of it. She sobbed, accused me of being cruel, of ruining her big day over one dance. I reminded her of the years, of the sick nights I stayed up with her, the extra shifts I worked, the comfort I gave her when her world fell apart. I told her I was never a placeholder. I was never just a wallet. I didn't love her for obligation. I loved her because she was mine. She insisted it wasn't about money, and I said my love never was either. The wedding went on, smaller now, held in a community center with a buffet and music from a portable speaker. I wasn't invited. Later, I saw the photos. One showed her dancing with Mark. He looked smug. She looked radiant. 8 months had passed since that day. No calls, no visits, not even a card on my birthday in April. We used to have a Sunday tradition. Even after she moved out, we'd cook, watch a movie, just be together. That's gone now. Her old bedroom remains untouched. Sometimes I find myself standing in the doorway, looking at the shelves lined with childhood keepsakes. She sent one text months ago. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just needed to know him. I never replied. I've cycled through every emotion since rage, grief, confusion, guilt. I asked myself if I was too harsh. If I let one painful moment destroy nearly 2 decades of love. If I should have smiled and swallowed the pain. But it wasn't just a dance. It was everything that dance meant. That I was replaceable. That I'd never truly been her father. Not in a way that counted when it mattered most. And that truth, that unbearable truth, is what aches the most.